Hello, this is Carrots. We're back for episode 4 of the Isla Paradiso bunch. We still have the same 9 Sims in the household plus Stella dog, but the number of gnomes is growing. I like gnomes. In this episode, Hayley has several adventures. There's romance under the stars, Jeannie visits the Stone's Throw greenhouse and alfresco market, and Craig goes windsurfing. At the end of episode 3, Hayley asked the desk clerk at Hobart's resort for an adventure. She was offered the adventure to find Refuge Island, and the first step was to ask Christopher Collins. He was supposed to have all the information she'd need to find Refuge Island. That afternoon, Hayley set off eagerly to find Christopher Collins. She pulled her car, the family vehicle that came with the house, out of her pocket, and a man jumped out of it. And I'm still wondering where he came from and was he in her pocket all the time. Really weird. Anyway, here she is. She's arrived at Christopher Collins' house. Christopher Collins had to go to work, so she followed him and found that he works at the theatre. When she got home, this pair, Muriel and Craig, were sitting outside watching the stars together. Now, that was an autonomous action, and I haven't seen much evidence of them actually having a romance going on between them, but they certainly seem to be enjoying each other's company at the moment. And here is the finished statue that you saw Craig making back in episode 3. That's his unicorn statue. Early next morning, Hayley was up before the sun. She first did some yard work, and that she had several valuables to collect, things that had spawned in their yard during the night, like insects and a few gemstones and maybe some seeds and some small animals occasionally. When she'd finished her collection and she'd found everything and had it stashed away safely in her inventory, she set off to find Christopher Collins in the hope that she'd get to him. Look at that big moon. I'm sure I've got a mod that gives me a big moon. I just don't know which one it is. It's very bright. It's almost like sunlight, but it's actually nighttime or very early in the morning, which is good to be able to see that clearly for the video. Here she is now, off in the boat, across the water. When she gets to the other side, she'll jump into her car that she carries in her inventory or her back pocket. I hope that man's not in there again. I checked and he wasn't a paparazzi. I just don't know where he came from. Just seemed to come out of the car, and the car came out of her pocket. Scary. Now, Christopher Collins' house is very close to the festival grounds, so it's easy for her to find and track him down. It should be, a little bit, the sun's coming up now, and it should be just about the right time for him to be getting up. So this should be okay. There he is. He's come out to meet her, and she's got to turn him into a friend because she asked him about Refuge Island and he wouldn't tell her anything. So now she's got to spend hours, and I was really hoping that she'd get the information out of him before he went to work again in the afternoon. She is a charismatic sim, but she doesn't have any charisma skill, so she's working hard to get him to be her friend. And eventually she did it, and he told her the next step. He said, "Kelp, I need some. Aye, maybe I know about that which you speak, and maybe I don't. Maybe the refuge exists, and maybe it doesn't. Are you a true ally to this archipelago? If so, I have an ecologist friend that needs kelp. Objective: bring 3 kelp to Nautilus Laboratories. Reward: none. Would you like to accept this opportunity?" No, of course she wouldn't. She wants to know where the island is. She doesn't have to bother going and getting kelp. I remembered that Judy had harvested lots of kelp and still had it in her inventory. So I transferred 3 kelp from Judy's inventory to Hayley's. So Hayley just had to go to Nautilus Laboratories to deliver the kelp. She jumped into her boat, right under a huge waterfall. I don't know why that boat didn't sink, but at least she was relieved not to have to go diving for kelp. She could just go straight to the laboratory. She took an interesting path all the way along the edge of the land. She almost ran aground a few times. She went past a few houseboats, and when she got past them, she took a right turn and dashed across the strait to Nautilus Laboratory, where she jumped out of her boat and went straight into the laboratory to deliver her kelp, excitedly hoping for the directions to Refuge Island. But no, she's got another task to do. Fire walk with me. Thanks for the kelp. You seem like a fine person. Are you in tune with your island spirit? Perform an act of daring and mind over matter, and then we'll talk about the island. Objective: firewalk successfully on the firewalk pit. Reward: none. Would you accept this opportunity? Suppose she has to, really. If she wants to find Refuge Island, and she does, she really wants to find that island. Now, of course, I wasn't really sure where to find a fire pit in a hurry. I know you can get them at resorts, but you've got to book into the resort, and I didn't want to go through all that hassle. So when she got home, I decided we should just go into buy mode and buy a fire pit for their home. Luckily, they've sold a few things and they've just got enough money, I hope, to pay for their fire pit. We sorted on Island Paradise so we'd find it fairly quickly because I didn't really know where in buy mode you'd find it. It turned up in outdoor activities under Island Paradise. And it was a lot more expensive than I'd expected it to be. But oh well, they'll have to work harder and sell more. 1,275 simoleons. They're just going to have to sell more harvestables and other things that they make or find to get their money. Here she is. She's going to walk on the fire pit. Wonder if Meryl is going to give her a cheer along to encourage her. Is she going to watch? Or is she being an evil sin? Maybe she'll just walk off and leave poor Hayley there to herself. Yep, there she goes. Doesn't want to give Hayley any encouragement at all, or even be a witness to her victory. There's Hayley. She's walking across the fire pit, and she's done it. And she managed to get herself a nice, positive moodlet, the Soul Survivor moodlet. It's plus 20. The hot coals have met their match. Confidence from Firewalk Pit. So now she's setting off back to Nautilus Laboratory. When she reports in about her successful firewalk, we're hoping that she'll finally get all the information she needs to go to Refuge Island. Fortunately, Hayley has two good traits to help her with all this adventuring. She is brave and a daredevil, so she will pretty much try anything, which is good. Now let's see what they tell her. How does she get to this island? We'll just have to wait until she comes out to find out what happens next. Oh no, another thing they wanted to do. Shark, a vagrant. One more thing, and this is really more a favour. Roving sharks have been interrupting my sea surveys, and it's quite a bother. As an ecologist, it's extremely important to me that you punch a shark in the face. That'll teach 'em. Objective: get in a fight with a shark. Reward: none. Would you like to accept this opportunity? Well, no, but I guess she's going to have to accept it if she wants to find that island. So I've sent her to Davy Jones's locker because her scuba diving skill really isn't high enough to go to a more dangerous dive spot. Let's hope she finds a shark. Sometimes you see surface sharks, and she could get into a fight with one of them. Any shark will do. So anyway, down she goes. And she could scuba dive with her current diving skill. She was able to stay down for about 3 or 4 hours. And she stayed down for 3 or 4 hours. And she didn't see any sharks at all. She found a few shells, and she caught a few items of sea life, some polyps, jellyfish, ordinary fish, whatever, but no sharks. Back at home, we've discovered that Judy has been locked in Sam's bedroom all this time. Luckily, she can conjure apples because she's a witch. But she must be getting hungry and desperate by now. She just can't get through that door. It's locked, and only Sam can get through it. So let's give it so that Judy can get through it as well. And see if she'll go out now. Yep, there she is. She's got the door open and out she is. And she's angry at Craig. What on earth did she think Craig did to her? We'll lock that door again now so only Sam can use it. We don't want her getting locked in there again. And that's just a random houseboat that went past. I just thought it looked interesting, so I don't know who owns it. Just put it in there so you could see a houseboat sailing by. I thought it was interesting how the boats manage to avoid each other, but the taxis can't. Out on the road, taxis just run over the top of each other. There's Jeannie heading off to consign some of her produce at the Stones Throw greenhouse, and she'll buy a few grapes and things that she needs to plant for her nectary that they're going to have in the second bottom basement. Once she gets over there, she'll pick up some seeds, and she'll keep the seeds that she recognises, but she'll consign the seeds that she doesn't recognise. I know you can use the Swift Grow gardening stations to identify seeds, but they just get stuck in a bunch of different seeds that have got names, and you can't plant them easily like that, so I'm not going to bother with them. She can just consign them or keep a few for Judy to use for conversion rituals, just in case there's something rare that they can't find and they need for as an ingredient. Judy's a witch and she can cast magic spells and turn things into other things. Or they could even use them in the science station. Judy's got maxed her science skill. Now somebody might want to have a plant sim at some stage and we could use an unidentified seed for that. They need to use a seed for a gene splicing experiment, and anything can result from those sort of experiments, including forbidden fruit, which you can plant to grow a plant sim baby. Between the alfresco market and the greenhouse, there are 11 humble harvest stands, and then there are 2 more at each of the Savvy Seller stores. That makes 13 humble harvest stands that she can visit and should visit each day to consign produce and go shopping for things that she needs. She'll be buying rare grapes, rare mushrooms, all sorts of things that if you can't find them somewhere else in the world and she hasn't got them already at home, you'll eventually find them at the Humble Harvest stand if you go to enough Humble Harvest stands, and also if you go regularly. Now, I'm somewhat impatient and easily bored, and there is no way that I'm going to show you 13 Humble Harvest stands in a row with Jeannie selling and buying her produce at them. So we'll have a look at what she's doing at the first one, and then from then on you'll have to just remember that there's 13 of them and she's going to go to all of them. And this is how she maximizes her income, because she can just put a few things in each stand, and so lots of other Sims can go to all of those stands and buy things every day. They don't all have to just go to the same place. Like if at the consignment store, you just leave everything at the one register, whereas with the Humble Harvest stands, they're all over the place, and Sims can buy from them all day long, and you just get extra money constantly. If you have World Adventures installed, you will find that the Humble Harvest stands actually sell all of the fruits or vegetables that you can buy in the various World Adventure worlds. So that means you don't have to travel to France or Egypt or China to buy produce from those worlds. Now she's arrived at the alfresco market. I've changed this a bit, so there's a ping pong table there that they can play in. I've also added a pizza oven, a teppanyaki grill, You can send your Sims here to get them to cook for themselves if you want to. The toilets were already there, they came with the venue. And then across in the next little place, in the middle of the venue, I've added a barista bar from University Life and a few tables. There's also some tables upstairs, and there's some fridges and things, and it looks like the industrial ovens there as well. Outside, there are 5 Humble Harvest stands and a lemonade stand. The other little stands you can see, little wheelbarrow things, they're just decor. You can't do anything with them. But the Humble Harvest stands, if Sim can actually tend the stand, your Sim can do it, or a townie Sim might just come and do it. She's going to go through all 5 of them and buy things and sell things. She still hasn't, there's one sort of grape that she ends up still missing after this episode, but she'll have to come back another day to try to find it. There's the unicorn cloud, and their house was there too, across the water. And so I think she's just about finished there. Here's Craig. At the end of the video, Craig has gone windsurfing just to say goodbye. He loves to windsurf, and he does it often. He usually does long windsurfs, but he's only going to do a short one today. Once he gets off his windsurfer, I'm going to get him to do some snorkeling to build up his scuba diving skill, because he doesn't have enough scuba diving skill yet to be able to actually go scuba diving at a dive spot. So once he gets his scuba diving skill up to level 2 from snorkeling, I'll be able to send him off diving with the rest of the crew that can actually dive at dive spots. So that's the end of it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and happy simming. Bye-bye for now.